You know that feeling, right? That little hesitation, that flicker of doubt, just before you click buy. But what if I told you that the seller with the perfect 5-star rating, the one with thousands of glowing reviews, what if they're actually the most dangerous one out there? Today, we're going way beyond your typical online scam. We're about to conduct a full-on forensic investigation into what's called the Social Proof scam. This is a really sophisticated system, and it's designed to do more than just steal your money. It's built to weaponize the very trust that makes the digital world work. And look, this isn't about losing a few bucks. It's about the psychological hit of having your own good judgment twisted and used against you. So, we're going to pull back the curtain, look at the scammer's entire playbook, and then, step by step, we'll build an unbreakable defense so you can protect yourself.
So, here's the core of it. The ultimate lie of the fake seller profile scam isn't the product, it's the social currency of trust. Just think about that for a second. In the real world, right, trust is something that's earned over time. It's built on experience, on reputation, but online, it's just data. It's stars, numbers, reviews. That data has become a kind of currency, and it's a powerful one. It tells us who to buy from, what to believe, and scammers, well, they've become master counterfeiters of this currency. They're not just selling you a fake product, no, they're selling you a fake history, a completely fabricated reputation. They're tapping into that deep-seated subconscious need we all have to follow the crowd. And that creates this terrifying paradox. The seller who looks like the safest bet is actually a carefully disguised predator.
Okay, so here's our game plan for this investigation. First, we'll set the scene with the perfect digital facade. Then, we're going to dissect the anatomy of a lie, breaking down the scammer's playbook. After that, we'll get into the psychology behind it all, in the psychological weapon. And finally, the most important part, we'll arm you with the tools you need in forensic review analysis and the unbreakable defense.
All right, first things first. To really get this crime, you have to understand the crime scene. And look, we're not talking about some corner store. We're talking about the sprawling, anonymous cities that are online marketplaces. I mean, billions of dollars are changing hands every single day between people who will never, ever meet. There's no handshake, no looking someone in the eye, no gut feeling. In this digital void where that human connection is just gone, we've had to replace our intuition with something else, data. We've basically outsourced our trust to a simple little system of stars and numbers. And it's right there, in that outsourced judgment, that this huge vulnerability exists.
Come on, be honest. When you're searching for something online, where do your eyes go first? It's not the product description, is it? It's not the seller's name. It's the stars, right? That little line of yellow stars is like a lighthouse in the fog of endless online choices. Seeing a 4.8-star rating with thousands of reviews, I mean, it doesn't just feel good, it feels safe. It's this powerful mental shortcut, kind of a cognitive off-ramp that just tells our brain, hey, everyone else vetted this, you're good to go. We've been conditioned, almost like a Pavlovian response, to see high ratings and think low risk. And that reflex, that deep-seated trust in the crowd, is the exact weakness scammers exploit with, honestly, surgical precision.
So, we get the environment, now let's crack open the scammer's playbook. And what you're about to see, it's not just a bunch of random tricks. No, this is a cold, calculated, repeatable process. It's like a factory for manufacturing trust and hijacking identities. And trust me, understanding this blueprint is the key to seeing the attack coming before you end up as the next target.
Okay, here it is, their 5-step system. This is how they do it. Step 1 is profile fabrication. So the scammer needs a clean slate. They'll either cook up a brand new, professional-looking storefront, or, and this is way more sinister, they'll hijack an old, dormant account. You know, someone who hasn't logged in for years, so they can inherit that established, trustworthy history. Step 2, social proof injection. This is the absolute heart of the scam. They just unleash a fire hose of fraud. They use bot farms, compromised accounts, whatever they can to flood the profile with hundreds, sometimes thousands of fake 5-star reviews. And just like that, an unknown seller looks like a trusted giant. Step 3 is the scarcity hook. Now that the stage is set, they bait the trap. They'll list a super desirable item, a new iPhone, a designer bag, at a price that isn't crazy cheap, but is just good enough to be an irresistible deal. Step 4, transaction coercion. This is where they manufacture urgency. Only 2 left. Sale ends in 10 minutes. They want to rush you, to create a sense of panic so you don't have time to actually think. And finally, step 5, extraction and concealment. You make the payment and bam, they execute the final step. They grab your money through some untraceable method, and then they just disappear. The profile's deleted, and they vanish back into the digital noise.
Okay, this is the crucial moment. This is the exact second the trap springs shut.
I mean, logically, a really great price on a super popular item should set off alarm bells, right? You should be thinking, wait a minute, why is this so cheap? Or this seller's only been around for a month, how can they have so many sales? But that flood of 5-star reviews, it's like a powerful sedative for your gut instinct. It's just this wall of positive noise that completely drowns out that little voice of caution. Your brain just goes, well, my skepticism must be wrong. I mean, look at all these thousands of happy customers. It's an absolutely masterful piece of psychological misdirection.
And here's where the manipulation flips. This is the scammer's tell. You know, like in poker, if that digital facade is their mask, this is the moment the mask slips. They'll try to lure you off the platform. They'll come up with some excuse like, oh, the site's payment system is down. Or they'll tempt you with, hey, I can give you a discount if you pay me directly. This is where they go from passive deception to active coercion. They are trying to get you out of the platform's protected ecosystem and into the wild west of unprotected payments apps where, you guessed it, you have zero protection. This isn't just a red flag, people. This is a 5-alarm fire.
And this brings us to the psychological choke point. Think of it like a funnel. The scammer's pouring all this stuff in the top: urgency, scarcity, that fear of missing out. All of it creates this cognitive overload that just paralyzes your ability to do any real due diligence. So all those complex thoughts, checking the seller's history, actually reading the reviews, questioning the deal, they all get stuck. And what's the one and only piece of information that makes it through that tiny little choke point at the bottom? The simplest, shiniest piece of data available, that 5-star rating. In that critical moment, those fake reviews become the only piece of evidence your brain even looks at.
So, we've broken down the what. Now we've got to understand the why. I mean, why are these scams so brutally effective? It's because these scammers, they aren't just technical hackers. They're psychological hackers. They're exploiting these really deep-seated cognitive biases. Think of them as glitches in our mental software that every single one of us has. And these biases, these are their weapons.
Their main weapon is something called the social proof heuristic. And really, it's one of our oldest survival instincts. Picture this. You're in a new city, you're hungry, and you see 2 restaurants. One is totally empty, and the other has a long line out the door. Which one are you going to choose? The one with the line, right? Of course. You just assume the crowd knows something you don't. Well, scammers do the exact same thing. They just create a fake digital line. Those thousands of fake reviews create this overwhelming illusion that everyone agrees, and your brain just defaults to its ancient programming. The crowd can't be wrong.
And working right alongside social proof is another bias called cognitive fluency. It's actually really simple. Our brains prefer things that are easy to process over things that are hard. So, a clean, professional-looking profile with a perfect 5-star rating, that's mentally smooth. It's easy. It just feels right. But a profile with a bunch of mixed reviews and a kind of weird history, that's mentally jagged. It requires real effort to figure out. Scammers are absolute masters at creating these fluent profiles to make trusting them the path of least resistance. It just lulls your analytical brain right to sleep. And then, on top of that psychological foundation, they layer on these amplifiers. They crank up the urgency with countdown timers, they use scarcity with those low stock warnings. And what does that do? It triggers our fear of missing out, FOMO, and it pushes us to act before we have a chance to think. They also tap into our authority bias. A really professional-looking logo and a clean design makes any profile feel more legitimate, even if it's brand new. Every single one of these is just another finger on the scale, pushing you toward making a bad decision.
Okay, that's enough about the problem. Let's start building the solution. And listen, this is not about making you paranoid. It's about making you precise. We're going to replace that passive trust with active investigation. I'm going to show you how to perform a fast, effective forensic analysis on any seller you come across. This is your first line of defense.
So this right here, this is the mental shift you absolutely have to make. The scammer wants you living on the left side, in the world of instinct. They want you to just glance at the high-level numbers, that 5-star average, the thousands of reviews, and just feel instantly safe. Your defense is to force yourself over to the right side, to engage your intellect. So instead of looking at the average score, you're going to analyze the content and the dates of the reviews. Instead of being impressed by how many reviews there are, you're going to intentionally go look for the negative ones first. You're going to learn to ignore all that generic positive fluff and start hunting for the patterns of fraud. So how do you actually do this analysis? Here's your 4-point checklist. It's tactical, it's simple. First, read the 1-star and 2-star reviews first, always. The 5-star reviews are just marketing. The 1-star reviews, that's your intelligence report. That's where you find the truth. Second, check the timeline. Look at the dates on the reviews. Are they all jammed together in a really short period of time? That's the digital fingerprint of a bot attack. Real organic reviews trickle in over time. Third, actually read the content of the 5-star reviews. Are they all super generic and vague, like great product, A+? Real people leave specific details. Robots and paid reviewers leave repetitive praise. And fourth, check the seller's join date. I mean, if an account is only 2 weeks old but somehow has 3,000 reviews, it's not popular, it's fraudulent. Simple as that.
Okay, it's time to build the final firewall. And listen, even if you miss every single clue we just talked about in the reviews, these next 2 rules are absolute. They are completely non-negotiable, and if you follow them, you will neutralize this scam completely no matter how convincing the lie is.
This is the golden rule, and I honestly cannot emphasize this enough. Never, ever communicate or pay outside of the marketplace's official system. Their system is there to protect you, it creates a paper trail, it offers help if things go wrong. The second a seller asks you to move to a different app, the scam is confirmed. There are 0 legitimate reasons to ever do that. It is a bright, immovable red line. No exceptions, ever.
And here's your financial firewall. You need to always use a payment method that has strong chargeback protection. Your credit card, in this case, is your best friend. Why? Because if you do get scammed, you have a powerful ally in the bank who will literally fight to get your money back. Using things like wire transfers, crypto, or those cash apps for these kinds of purchases, that's the digital version of stuffing cash in an envelope and just mailing it into the void. Once that money is sent, it is gone, and it's probably gone forever. So, when you boil it all down, the strategic principle is crystal clear. In the digital world, trust is not an earned virtue anymore. It's a manufactured commodity. It can be bought, it can be faked, and it can be sold to the highest bidder. That high star rating you see isn't proof that a seller is good. It's just a claim, and every single claim needs to be questioned.
And all of this brings us to our final protective mantra. This is the one thought that should guide every single transaction you make online from now on. You have to stop trusting the score. It's the easiest part of the whole lie for them to fake. Instead, put your energy into verifying the seller behind the score. Investigate their history, their behavior, the actual content of their reviews. Just remember this: the 5-star rating is a lie. Verify the seller, not the score.